All right, so we're discussing vectors in the last lesson, and continuing with that, we did learn some basic vector algebra, a little bit of more vector algebra today, and then we will see vector calculus and hopefully its applications as well. So since we have to associate physical quantities uh, with vectors, we require the vectors to satisfy some more rigorous mathematical requirements. जी अली साफी
सर एक दफा वेक्टर रिजॉल्व करने की कोई एग्जांपल करवा दें।
बाद में अब या दोबारा वो लेक्चर देख लें या बाद में मेरे पास आ जाए।
ओके सर।
So we require the vectors to satisfy something more a more rigorous mathematical requirement, and that is that a vector is not just an object which has a direction and a magnitude, just not two numbers. We need more than that, and that is that the components of a vector transform in a certain way when we change the coordinate system. All right, that's an additional requirement. That's something very important that we are going to learn today. And it says, let's say that we have a coordinate system x and y, and then we have a vector in this coordinate system called vector a. All right, now let's see that I have another coordinate system x prime and y prime. So don't worry, it doesn't matter if so I can choose and I can define the coordinate system in whatever fashion I like. The only important thing is that the y and the x axis should be perpendicular to each other. Otherwise, there would be other problems. So this is another coordinate system. So now let's say that we have the same vector a here. Now what we are trying to say is that regardless of the coordinate system, the vector a remains the vector, whatever vector it is. The only difference is that it has different components in two coordinate systems. In this coordinate system, this is ax, the x component, and the y component is ay. And here in this coordinate system, this would be the ax prime component, and this would be the ay prime component. Now, here, of course, there is no relationship between these components, or the vectors components, vector a's components in this coordinate system and vector a's components in this coordinate system. But if I superimpose these two coordinate systems like this, okay, so this is x, this is y, and then I have x prime, and then I have y prime. So one way of thinking two different coordinate systems is that one coordinate system is rotated by certain angle theta from another coordinate system x. So x prime is rotated with respect to, but essentially these are two different coordinate systems. And we have a vector a, all right? Now this vector has different components, its X and Y components in two different coordinate systems are different. And what we want to do is, let's say, for example, in first coordinate system, the unprimed coordinate system, we can write vector A as AX, EX plus AY, EY. All right. Now, for this coordinate system, the unprimed, we have unit vectors EX and EY. And if we write the same vector in the prime coordinate systems, we would have EX prime, EX prime, so its own unit vectors, plus EY prime, AY prime, and EY prime, the unit vectors. Now, if you see, for example, if I rotate the primed coordinate system in such a way that its x-axis is aligned with the vector A, so this would become A and this would become 0. All right. And you can also see clearly now that the components of A in two coordinate systems are related to each other. Right. So the AX and AY, the components of vector A in unprimed coordinate system, are related to the components of the same vector in the primed coordinate system. We can find one from the other and in both ways. The only question that we do not know is how are these components related to each other. For example, let's say if I make the angle 0, what would be the relationship between the components then?
फिर तो equal होंगे ना?
बिल्कुल, yes, बिल्कुल, फिर तो equal हो जाएंगे. तो AX is equal to AX prime because we are essentially in the same coordinate system, and AY would be AY, right? And so that's just to convince you that as you keep rotating this coordinate system, the prime coordinate system, then the dependence of AX on AX prime and AY on AY prime changes, and it essentially depends on the angle between the two coordinate systems. Okay. What we are trying to do is in more formal language is find out the coordinate transformation under rotation. All right. So we are rotating one frame with respect to the other, and we have the same vector, and we are trying to find out the coordinates of this vector in the new rotated frame in terms of the old components in the old frame. ठीक है? I'm not talking about angle A yet. So this theta is between the two coordinate systems, between the primed and the unprimed coordinate system. But to make the discussion simpler, instead of immediately trying to work out the coordinates of this vector, we can first do what we can first do is work out the unit vectors of one coordinate system in terms of the unit vectors of the other coordinate system. And once we have figured this out, then this becomes very easy. All right. जी आवाज नहीं आ रही, कौन? आप म्यूट कर लें अगर सवाल नहीं पूछ रहे तो प्लीज। All right, so now the Ex prime would be this vector here. Right, so this is Ex prime. Its length is 1 unit, right? Now let's look at its X and Y component in the unprimed coordinate system. So now Ex unit vector, Ex prime unit vector makes, now this unit vector makes angle theta with the unprimed coordinate x-axis. So this would be its Ey component. So this vector in the old system now has both components, the Ey component and the Ex component. Okay, so now let's try to write that. And before I move the board, let me just do it here. So what would be the Y component? So let me write it in a more clear language. So Ex prime unit vector and its X component, okay, in the old coordinate system or in the unrotated coordinate system. Okay, what would be that? In chat, please. ये क्या होगा? ये जो ग्रीन आपको वेक्टर नजर आ रहा है, ये Ex, ये एंगल थीटा बना रहे, बिल्कुल ऐसे ही है जैसे ये है आपके पास X, Y और एक यूनिट वेक्टर है, ठीक है? अब इसका X कंपोनेंट और Y कंपोनेंट क्या होंगे? यूनिट वेक्टर है, इसका X कंपोनेंट क्या होगा? अगर तो इसकी लेंथ है ये, तो ये क्या होगा? 1 कोसाइन थीटा और Y कंपोनेंट इसका क्या होगा? 1 साइन थीटा, ठीक है? तो Ex प्राइम यूनिट वेक्टर का X कंपोनेंट क्या होगा? 1 टाइम्स cosine of theta, and Ex again primed unit vector ka Y component in the unrotated frame would be 1 times sine theta. So I let you absorb for a few seconds, because this is a very important leap, and if you follow this, then the rest would be very easy. Okay, and if you're not, just ask. Is this clear to everyone? Say yes, no. If you're still struggling, say no through the non-verbal response. I don't see much responses.
Yes, sir.
Just through the non-verbal response.
Sir, for the second one you've written, won't it be EY bracket Y?
नहीं, ये अभी Ex ही है, ठीक है ना? ये इसका ताल्लुक अब जो है, इसको ये मत समझें कि ये एक वेक्टर है जिसका एक नाम है, ठीक है? मैं, ये बहुत अच्छा सवाल है, वैसे बहुत अच्छा सवाल, एंड दैट कुड बी द सोर्स ऑफ कंफ्यूजन, ठीक है ना? मैं इसको दोबारा बताता हूँ, ये वाला पॉइंट नेक्स्ट बोर्ड पे। अब ये एक वेक्टर है, ठीक है। अब ये किसी कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम में, जो मैंने अब यहाँ से इरेज कर दिया लेट्स से यहाँ पे, उस कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम में ये एक यूनिट वेक्टर है, इसका मर्तबा एक यूनिट वेक्टर वाला है, ठीक है। लेकिन जब मैंने once I erase that coordinate system, then it becomes an ordinary vector, ठीक है। It just becomes u. Okay, so I have erased, forget about the other coordinate system. Now, what was the unit vector in that rotated coordinate system has just become an ordinary vector, and it's ex prime, and it has a cousin that is called ey prime. It is a unit vector if I have the prime coordinate system, but once I erase the prime coordinate system, they are just two vectors. All right. Now look at ex unit vector is vector ko just an ordinary vector, and try to resolve it in x and y. तो अब मैं u को ले लेता हूं, इसको मैं u कह देता हूं, ठीक है। तो क्या होगी इसकी रेजोल्यूशन? u magnitude, ये सॉरी u magnitude cosine of theta, ठीक है, u magnitude sine of theta, ठीक है। Now let's bring in what we know about this vector u, that it's unit vector. So ये u1 है, ये 1 है, फिर इसको मैं लिख सकता हूं ना कोसाइन थीटा, और इसको मैं लिख सकता हूँ, ये तो 1 है, इसको मैं लिख सकता हूँ साइन थीटा, ठीक है। और u जो है इसका मैं अब नाम वापस डाल दूं यहाँ पे, तो इट्स ex unit vector sub x, this sub x to indicate the x component of this vector, and इसका ये तो वही वेक्टर है अभी भी, इसका y कंपोनेंट तो इधर है, हमने उसकी बात भी नहीं की है ey प्राइम की, जो कंफ्यूजन हो रही है, और इसका y कंपोनेंट है। Is it better now? Why? ये आ जाएगा, क्लियर हो जाएगा थोड़ी देर में, आपको समझ आ जाएगा, because that's a requirement to, so that we can reliably use vectors as conduits of physical quantities. या अगर मैं
Yes, it's
दोबारा,
clear now. Thank you, sir.
जी,
I said it's clear now. Thank you, sir.
okay, so now in this context, ex prime अब मैं इसको still think of it as an ordinary vector, okay, and I'm writing it in this unprimed coordinate system. So how would I write it? It's x component in unit along unit ex. This is the direction of the unit vector unprimed. एक इसके along होगा और एक इसके along होगा, यहाँ पे इसके along ey, ठीक है। तो इसके साथ मैं लिखूंगा ex plus, this is now just a number, and this is a unit vector of the present coordinate system that we are looking at, and so this is again, this is x, okay, this is x, y, e, y prime, ठीक है। So this is a vector, any vector u or ex prime written in this coordinate system x and y, ये लिखें, this again is a number and this is a unit vector, and we
सर
know
y होगा not y prime.
ई वाई प्राइम की जगह वही सर वाई होगा ई वाई
ये
So
ex है,
last
ये
y.
देखिए यही तो भाई मैंने यहाँ
नहीं सर
explain
last
किया।
y, सर last y,
सर बिल्कुल लास्ट
y.
वर्ड ई वाई प्राइम की जगह ई वाई होगा
Oh yes, yes,
E
yes,
cap y prime.
very good, very good, very good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. ठीक है, and now we have calculated these numbers, both of these here. So we substitute these numbers back here, and we get cosine theta ex plus sine theta ey. ठीक है. The most difficult part of today's lesson, I think, is over, and that's it. So we have been able to express the unit vector, one of the two unit vectors, the unit vector of the rotated coordinate system in terms of the unit vectors of the unrotated coordinate system or the unprimed coordinate system. So this is the relationship. Okay. The only thing that you need to know is theta. If you know theta, and then now I can draw the coordinate system here, x prime, y prime. So once you know this angle theta, you can write the unit vectors of the rotated frame in terms of the unit vectors of the unrotated frame. And that's that. And now I'm not going to show, you can do the rest of the calculation very easily. The unit vector along the y-axis of the rotated coordinate can be written as sine ex plus cosine ey. That's the second component. ठीक है. कोई स्क्रीनशॉट लेना है तो ले लें. I'm moving the board. Okay, it's also true the other way around. We can go the other way around. We can write the coordinates or the unit vectors of the unrotated frame in terms of the unit vectors of the
नेगेटिव साइन क्यों डाला हुआ था
जी.
सर ये माइनस साइन क्यों किया हुआ था आपने पहले ई वाई प्राइम
मैंने नहीं किया हुआ था. ये जब आप करेंगे ना, ये कंसिस्टेंटली EY यहाँ पॉइंट कर रहा है. ठीक है, ठीक है ना. तो इसका x कंपोनेंट नेगेटिव नहीं आएगा. ये हमने की नहीं एक्सप्लिसिटली, लेकिन माइनस साइन इस वजह से आ रहा है कि इसका x कंपोनेंट नेगेटिव है, y कंपोनेंट अभी भी पॉजिटिव है. ठीक है.
We're doing all of these, we are deriving these equations considering कि ex prime is equal to 1, है ना?
हाँ, लेकिन अगर ना भी हो तो अभी मैं इसको जनरलाइज करता हूँ ऑर्डिनरी वेक्टर्स के लिए, तो वो भी आ जाएगा, वो भी इतना मुश्किल नहीं. लेकिन अभी हम वही कर रहे हैं, अज्यूमिंग वन. ठीक है.
Okay.
ठीक है. So the relationship you could work out the other way around. So you can write the unit vectors of the unrotated frame in terms of the unit vectors of the rotated frame. And this is minus here. ठीक है. And the similar for EY. ठीक है. All right. And again, you have a minus sign here. The y component of the EX unit vector is negative. Probably you can see it from here. Let me see if you can see it. So the X component of this coordinate system, X component, this unit vector in this rotated coordinate system, the Y component is negative. And that's why you get this negative. And now it's much more easier to extend this. For example, here you have AX, EX plus AY, EY. ठीक है, ये देखें, ये वेक्टर है in the unprimed coordinate system, the vector A. ठीक है, and now we can substitute the value of the unit vectors from these two equations here. So these are the unprimed unit vectors in terms of the primed unit vector. तो अगर उनकी वैल्यू यहाँ डालेंगे, you will immediately be able to realize vector A in terms of the primed coordinate system. ठीक है? Now do substitute this, and what you will get is something like this. EX, and after some rearrangement, so you substitute the value of EX यहाँ से ये लिखें और EY की value यहाँ से लिखें, and then rearrange. This is what you would get. Cosine plus AY sine of theta, and this is unit vector ठीक है. Now we have been able to write the vector from unprimed coordinate system into the primed coordinate system.
सर माइनस AY sin थीटा नहीं होगा?
नहीं, ये माइनस AX ही है.
नहीं, पहले वाले में सर.
यहाँ पे
जी सर.
नहीं, इसमें दोनों की साइन, ये देखें एक्स कंपोनेंट की दोनों की साइन पॉजिटिव है. देयर इज नो रीजन टू हैव माइनस. ठीक है, सिर्फ उसी में आएगा, ये वाली माइनस टर्म आएगी वाई में. यहाँ से देखें ना, ये कोसाइन थीटा ये वाली टर्म है. ठीक है, और ये जो ए वाई है ये है, नहीं ये भी ये वाली टर्म है, ये वाली साइन थीटा. ठीक है, तो ये भी पॉजिटिव है, सिर्फ ये टर्म नेगेटिव है, ये जो यहाँ आ रही है.
सर हमने EX की जगह पूरा सब्स्टिट्यूट नहीं करना? cos थीटा EX प्राइम माइनस sin थीटा EY प्राइम.
समझ नहीं आई मुझे आपके सवाल की.
सर आपने ऊपर देखे ना, EX को आपने EX प्राइम की इन टर्म्स में लिखा हुआ है, तो
जी,
हमने
जी.
नीचे EX प्राइम की टर्म्स में ही सब्स्टिट्यूट करना है ना?
हाँ, ये देखे ना, यहाँ पे जो है EX की ये वाली वैल्यू सब्स्टिट्यूट करनी है पूरी,
जी.
और
तो
यहाँ पे
आपने
ये वाली पूरी करनी है.
सर आपने इसके बाद आपने ये नहीं किया हुआ, नेगेटिव नहीं होना चाहिए EX cos थीटा माइनस AY sin थीटा, जो पहला वाला आपने.
हाँ हाँ ठीक है, मुझे पता, लेकिन मैंने वो टर्म्स रीअरेंज कर दी हैं यार. ये सिर्फ EX प्राइम की टर्म्स इकट्ठी कर दी हैं और EY की, पहले वही आएगा जो आप कह रहे हैं. ये ठीक है, यहाँ पे सब्स्टिट्यूट करें, फिर इसको ओपन करें एंड देन अरेंज द टर्म्स. EX प्राइम की टर्म्स इकट्ठी कर लें और EY की, तो ये एक्सप्रेशन फाइनल आ जाएगी. I've skipped this algebraic step between. आ रही है बात समझ?
जी सर।
ठीक है, ये सही कह रहे हैं आप, यहाँ पे वो आएगी टर्म, ठीक है ना, और फिर यहाँ पे आएगी, तो फिर इसको ओपन कर दें एंड देन इकट्ठी कर देंगे एक्स कंपोनेंट और वाई कंपोनेंट। ठीक है,
सर मुझे समझ नहीं आया आपने क्या चीज सब्स्टिट्यूट की है।
ये
आखिरी
सब
दो लाइन।
इसकी वैल्यू इस इक्वेशन से और इसकी वैल्यू इस यहाँ पे, and then rearranged the terms to get this expression.
ओके सर।
ठीक है, अब इसमें ई एक्स प्राइम की एक टर्म है, ई वाई प्राइम की एक टर्म है, इसमें ई एक्स प्राइम की टर्म है, एक ई वाई की, तो दो एक्स प्राइम वाली टर्म्स को मैंने इकट्ठा कर दिया है और दो ई वाई वाली प्राइम टर्म्स को मैंने इकट्ठा कर दिया है। ठीक है जी, यस। अब ये इसको यू कैन थिंक ऑफ दिस होल कोएफिशिएंट एज ए एक्स प्राइम ई एक्स प्राइम प्लस ये पूरे को आप ए वाई ले सकते हैं, ए वाई प्राइम टाइम्स द यूनिट वेक्टर। ठीक है, so we started with the vector in the unprimed coordinate system and now we are here in the primed coordinate system. Just to be careful that somebody was asking to generalize it. Now we have generalized it. Ax prime, the x component of the vector in the primed coordinate is equal to this quantity in the parenthesis. Okay, and the component of a general vector in the primed coordinate system here is equal to this expression here in the parenthesis. Okay, so what we had the unit vectors expressed in terms of the primed coordinate unit vectors. Here we have a general vector expressed in terms of the unprimed coordinate system, and the other way around you can also work that out. Right? So this is what we were looking for. This is what is called the coordinate transformation, that a vector transforms correctly under the rotation of the coordinate system. So if you rotate the coordinates, okay, very good question. That this generalization, no, it's not, the angle is not limited. Somebody asked that this generalization is only true if the theta is less than 90 or equal to 9. That's not true, because the signs then would get taken care of by the trigonometric functions. Okay, so it's general. The vector, the rotation can be any angle between 0 and 360. जी देख लें previous board. All right, so the vector transforms under the rotation of coordinate systems in a consistent manner. and that's why now we can associate vector quantities. For example, now we can associate displacement or represent displacement with a vector. We can call that we can regard displacement a vector, and because it transforms in a consistent manner under the change of coordinates, under the coordinate transformation. ठीक है जी अब्दुल रहमान?
यस सर. सर जो ए वाई प्राइम के अंदर हमारा एक्स कंपोनेंट के साथ नेगेटिव साइन थीटा आ रहा है, राइट? सो व्हाट आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड इज कि वो नेगेटिव साइन थीटा बेसिकली कहाँ से आ रहा है, बिकॉज मेरी मैथ के अंदर नेगेटिव कॉस थीटा आना चाहिए.
कहाँ
दैट्स
पे?
व्हाट आई एम कंफ्यूज्ड अबाउट.
कहाँ पे? यहाँ पे इसलिए नजर आ रहा है इसमें?
यस किसी भी बोर्ड पे सही है सर. वो जो नेगेटिव ax sin थीटा नहीं है, जो x कंपोनेंट है, shouldn't cos थीटा become negative in the second quadrant? sin तो कांस्टेंट रहता है, तो why is sin becoming negative? अगर क्वाड्रेंट में चेंज कर रहा हूँ, जब रोटेशन में क्वाड्रेंट मेरा चेंज हो रहा है बेसिकली वेक्टर का, तो साइन को तो कांस्टेंट रहना चाहिए ना. वो थर्ड एंड फोर्थ में जाके फ्लिप होगा, सेकंड क्वाड्रेंट में तो मेरा कॉस फ्लिप हो जाना चाहिए नहीं?
नहीं, मुझे आपके सवाल की नहीं समझ आ रही. आप यहाँ पे किसी इक्वेशन की तरफ पॉइंट करके मुझे बताएं ना.
ओके सर, पिछला वाला इससे बोर्ड निकालें जहाँ पे हमने ग्राफ दोनों वो नहीं बनाए थे अपने कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम्स.
ये देख लें, ये है.
यस सर. ओके. नहीं सर, इससे भी पीछे वाला.
ये है.
यस सर, सही हो गया. ऑलराइट. तो सर अगर मैं अब अपने a को आई रिप्रेजेंट ओके y प्राइम को मैं अगर लेता हूँ एंड उसको मैं अपने ओरिजिनल कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम के अंदर डिफाइन करने की कोशिश करता हूँ विद एन अल्फा ऑन द लेफ्ट हैंड साइड ऑफ द एक्सिस ऑफ द y एक्सिस, तो मेरा cos थीटा नेगेटिव होता है, नॉट sin थीटा.
ये देखें ना, ये देखें, ये है ना आपका ex प्राइम, ठीक है? यही है ना?
yes,
ये ex प्राइम है. अब इसके कंपोनेंट्स जो हैं y के अलोंग क्या होगा? ये इसका y के अलोंग कंपोनेंट होगा, ठीक है? और ये इसका x के अलोंग कंपोनेंट होगा, ठीक है?
yes,
तो अब मुझे बताएं इसमें से कौन सा कंपोनेंट नेगेटिव?
वर्टिकल नहीं होगा. y के अलोंग वर्टिकल नहीं होगा.
क्यों वर्टिकल होगा भाई? देखिए ना, ये वेक्टर है तो इसका y के अलोंग तो ये कंपोनेंट होगा ना. ये वर्टिकल ही तो है.
x के अलोंग कौन सा है? ये तो x एक्सिस में हम मूव नहीं कर रहे. नहीं सर, y एक्सिस तो स्ट्रेट अपवर्ड्स है ना.
ये y एक्सिस है, ये y प्राइम है. ये इसका y प्राइम स्ट्रेट अप
with respect to the y axis. I'm talking with respect to the y axis. कि अगर y axis की रिस्पेक्ट के ऊपर x axis के ऊपर हम लोग y प्राइम प्लॉट करें तो
ठीक है. तो अब ये x ये y है, ये आप कह रहे हैं, ठीक है?
बिल्कुल सर.
ठीक है. तो अब इसका y के अलोंग कंपोनेंट क्या होगा? ये होगा. यही होगा ना, ठीक है?
और y के ओके सर, एक सेकंड सर, इफ y प्राइम इज माय वेक्टर, तो y के अलोंग जो कंपोनेंट है वो वर्टिकल ही नहीं होना चाहिए.
नहीं, आप
y prime is my vector on the xy axis.
Wait. You have to first, yeah, you're confusing. So you first choose which vector are you representing, EY or EY prime?
Sir, y prime. Okay, EY prime is my vector.
Y prime is not a vector.
Y
prime is not a vector. Okay, I'm talking about a unit vector.
EY prime. Okay, let's just talk about EY prime then.
ठीक है. Then EY prime is pointing this direction. ठीक है?
बिल्कुल सर.
तो इसका y component ये होगा.
So ये तो x है, because aren't we moving in the x direction?
क्या मुझे समझ नहीं आ रही आप क्या कह रहे हैं. ये y प्राइम है, ये y एक्सिस है, इसके ऊपर इसका कंपोनेंट, इसके अलोंग इसकी प्रोजेक्शन. यहाँ से लाइट से देखें तो यहाँ से इसका साया, इसकी प्रोजेक्शन y पे ये बनेगी, ठीक है? और अगर आप ऊपर से देखें तो ये उसका x के अलोंग उसका कंपोनेंट है.
एक सेकंड सर, आई एम कंफ्यूज्ड. सर अगर मैं x प्राइम का ड्रॉ करता हूँ,
बाद में मेरे पास आ जाएं क्लास में. So I have to finish the lecture. So this is, well, no, so that the vectors respect a coordinate transformation. And one last thing that I wanted to say is that this is more or less all the vector algebra that we would be looking at in this course, although the vector algebra is quite vast. And now we would move on to vector calculus. So vector calculus, as you have seen, is not very different from, it's different from the vector, the ordinary calculus, but it's not that different. So if you have good grip of calculus working with scalars, you can work with vectors while doing calculus. What I mean by vector calculus is taking the derivative of a vector or integrating a vector quantity. So usually what we do is we have scalar functions. We have a function f of x, where we throw in a number and then function has a definition. It gives us back a number. And that's a typical scalar function. However, when we go to vector functions, we come across several situations. You throw in a, for example, you can have a function where you throw in a vector and it gives you a scalar. Okay. You can also have a situation where you throw in a vector and it gives you a vector. Okay. And there could be another situation where you throw in a scalar and it gives you a vector. So these are different types of vector functions. Functions can be defined over vectors like they can be defined over scalars. All right. And once we have vector functions, then we immediately have to deal with, like here, with the derivative of a function or the integration of a function. All right. And I'll use an example to demonstrate how and why do we have to deal with it, for example. So let's say that we have a child running across a field. All right. And we have a position vector R1 indicating the position of the child at a certain time t. And a moment later, the child could be, let's say, is running along this trajectory and is here. And now the position of the child is a different vector, R2. But instead of having infinite number of vectors, because I have infinite number of points, what I could do is X and Y. What I could do is I could just write a vector function that depends on time. So I could write R vector that depends on time. So this is just a single vector and it keeps following the object that is moving, or the child in this case. All right. Now, if you look at this vector, it has this component X and it has this component Y. A moment later, it would have, let's call this X1, Y1. And a moment later, the X would become X2 and Y would become Y2. Now, if we just follow the
R with respect to T क्यों लिखा हुआ है? सिर्फ साइड पे, ग्राफ के साइड पे ये, yes sir,
ये नोट करने के लिए लिखा हुआ है कि we are following the trajectory, the position of a moving object.
with respect to time.
नहीं, just with respect to this coordinate system. R ये जो है, ठीक है?
ठीक है फिर.
So, but that person is moving, right, in time. As time
Yes, sir.
passes, that object is moving. So does the vector,
Yes, sir.
right? The vector changes, right? So I can
Yes, sir.
have infinite vectors every time the person moves from the previous position, or I can just
Yes.
use a general notation, a vector whose length and direction is changing as that object moves. Just that. Okay. And now you see that if we just ignore the rest of the problem and look at the position along the x-axis, x is changing as a function of time, right? Which is a component of the vector. So I could write x of t ex, okay, plus similarly y of t ey. Okay. So what it means for the vector to have time dependence is that its components are changing in time. So the x is changing in time and the y is changing in time. So now we have a vector function that depends on time. So in the one-dimensional cases, we just had this scalar x. We were solving all equations for this position as a function of time. But that was one dimension. In two dimensions, we have position as a function of time, but represented by a vector which has two quantities, both the x coordinate and the y coordinate. It's very simple generalization going from one dimension to two dimensions. So we use two scalars to get a vector to trace the two-dimensional motion. Okay, जी नोमान.
सर तो मतलब अगर इसका एग्जांपल लें तो R1 के लिए इज इक्वल टू x1 ex hat प्लस y1 ey hat हो जाएगा, है ना?
जी बिल्कुल.
और अगर वही R2 करेंगे तो R2 x2 और y2 लग जाएगा वहाँ.
जी उनको भी मैंने जनरलाइज कर दिया, बजाय x1 x2 x3 के I've just written x as a function of time and y as a function of time. ठीक है.
ठीक है, थैंक यू.
सर एक सेकंड के लिए नीचे करना बोला. बिल्कुल एक सेकंड के लिए.
जी
ऊपर वाला
क्या
बोर्ड,
जी क्या वो
ऊपर वाला बोर्ड एक सेकंड के लिए नीचे करना. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया सर.
So now for scalars, we had a situation like this, that if the position in one dimension changes by delta x in delta t time, that we expressed as x at t plus delta t minus x at t over delta t, and that was our average velocity, right? And once we take the limit delta t to 0, then delta x over delta t, this becomes the instantaneous velocity, right? Zero x of t plus delta t minus x of t over delta t. All right. So this is nothing but the derivative. ये हमने किया है. This becomes the instantaneous velocity. All right. In a similar way, we are going to use this definition of the vector to define the derivative of a vector function. This was an example of a scalar function. Let's say in a similar fashion here in this picture, that this is the vector r initially, and this is the same vector r at t plus delta t, a small amount of time later. Okay. And now we want to find out, the, so this is the vector at time t, rt, and this is the vector at a slightly later time. So we want to find out the rate of change of this vector. So first we need to calculate the change, the change in this vector, delta r. This would be a vector delta r if I subtract rt delta t minus, this is simple vector addition. Okay, and that is nothing but delta r. The difference of two vectors or the sum is also a vector. This is very important. The difference or the sum of two vectors is also a vector. But what about the direction of delta r? But what is the direction of delta r here?
तो यहाँ पे आर टी प्लस डेल्टा टी कौन सा वेक्टर है?
ये आर टी है पहला वेक्टर, और थोड़ी टाइम के बाद ये
Yes.
आर टी प्लस डेल्टा टी है.
अच्छा ठीक.
ठीक है, तो इफ यू लुक एट दिस कर्व, ठीक है, so delta r is a very small vector, and the difference between these two vectors is so small that does not matter whatever the shape of the curve is. In this limit, delta r is the direction parallel to the tangent of the curve. मैं एक और फिगर बना के दिखा देता हूं. So this is R1, or sorry, R at time t, and let's say that this is, and this is RT plus delta t, right? Now the vector dr, which is the difference of these two vectors, would be pointing in this direction here. And you see there is a difference between the curve and this vector. But if you make this interval small enough, at some point when the two heads are so close that this curve in that interval becomes nearly a straight line, and then the vector is nothing but a tangent to that straight line at that point, the direction of the dr. Okay, the direction of the dr is tangent to the curve joining the two vectors, or if you have an actual trajectory, right? So this is very important. So this tells me dr that an object is moving and is moving in this direction. It not only is telling me about the magnitude of change, how much the position has changed, it is also telling me in what direction the position has changed. So vector quantity gives me two pieces of information. So once I have delta r, then it's relatively simple. So I have r, the displacement at t delta t, minus the displacement, or sorry, the position vector at t, and the difference gives me the displacement. And if I divide the displacement by the total time taken to displace this much, that gives me what? Or more formally, r over delta t, and that gives me average velocity. Mind it, now before we were calling this speed because we were dealing with one-dimensional cases. Now this is a vector now. That gives me average velocity. All right. And if we impose the limit delta t going to 0, then this becomes the instantaneous velocity, right? And this is nothing but the derivative of the position vector, or the rate of the change of position vector with respect to time gives me velocity. And you can contrast this with the earlier example when we were working with scalars. So the rate of the change of the position with respect to time gives us speed, okay? And the rate of the change of the position vector, this is the rate of the change of scalar position, just x in one dimension. The rate of the change of the position vector with respect to time gives me velocity.
मेरे approaches to zero समझा देंगे please दोबारा.
But delta t is very, very small.
तो वो तो zero नहीं आ जाएगा नीचे ऊपर वाली equation में.
नहीं zero आएगा. We have discussed this while we were learning limits. And you can look at it in another way. All right. This equation you can write in its components, and it's always easier and much better to work with vector components. So you could write, for example, ye wala vector, you could write it x of t plus delta t, right? Ex plus y of t plus delta t ey, ठीक है? And then minus x of t ex plus y of t ey, ठीक है? And the overall fraction delta t here, right? So now if you look at this, you can take the x component, this x component, this here, and this would also be minus, sorry, and the y components, and write them together. So you would get x of t plus delta t minus x of t over delta t ex plus y of t delta t minus y of t over delta t ey, right? And then it's very simple. Then what you get is dx over dt ex plus dy over dt ey. So in other words, to define derivative, or what derivative means is, this is what this is. The derivative of a vector is simply the derivative of its components, dx over dt, dy over dt, and the unit vectors are constant. You can treat them as constants in integration and differentiation. So in other words, this is same as dx over dt ex plus dy over dt ey. All right.
सर पिछले बोर्ड पे जा सकते हैं, एक सेकंड? ठीक है, थैंक यू सर.
Okay, the next is vector integration. So we have an equation which looked very similar to this, but in the scalar terms, and here you have a vector equation. And it's not very difficult. I mean, it's very similar that you could, when solving an equation like this, you could either guess this vector. Okay, you could guess the antiderivative, something like this, u plus at, take the derivative and verify that this is the solution, or the other way around, you can do the integration like this. Okay, and integrate both sides. So in this case, 0 to t, and in this case, the velocity at time 0 and the velocity at time t. And I'm not going to integrate the right side, but just let's look at the left side, and I'll just explain how do we deal with this situation. Okay, you have to evaluate an integral of a vector dv from a vector limit u to a vector limit v. And this is relatively simple. What you can do is you can always write a vector in its components, and this is what it would become, right? dv can be written as dvx ex plus dy, sorry, dvy plus ey, all right? And then once you have this, then you can apply the integration to individual components. So here you have the limit from vector u to vector v, and here you would have just limit from ux to vx, and here you would have limit from uy to vy, and now it's ex and ey. The unit vectors are constant, you can take them out. Ex, ux, vx, dvex, ex plus ux, vx, dvy. All right, and I have just written it twice. Okay, now this is just a scalar integration, what you have already done. And this would become now ex, vx minus ux. We have done this before, plus vy minus uy with unit vector ey. And this is nothing but, if you rearrange the terms, take the vx terms one side and ux and y on the other side, you get vector v minus vector u. So this is a vector integration. Starting from here, you get to here. Always write the vector in terms of its components, and then do the integrations like you would do on scalars. Regarding the basis, the unit vectors as constants, and then do the integration as scalars on each component, and then you will get the vectors back.
सर इसके अंदर आपने जो स्टेप नंबर 3 और 4 के अंदर ex और ey लिखा हुआ है, वो अगर हम ना भी लिखें तो कोई फर्क तो नहीं ना पड़ता, क्योंकि इनकी वैल्यू तो 1 ही है, तो इट वुडंट मैटर.
नहीं, फिर मिक्स हो जाएंगे, कंपोनेंट्स मिक्स हो जाएंगे. You have to write this. ये components mix हो जाएंगे, ये components mix हो जाएंगे, otherwise you wouldn't be able to track what is the x component, what is the y component. तो ये this is the x component of the velocity, ठीक है ना, ये वाला, और ये y component.
हमें वैसे भी पता चल जाएगा कि v के साथ x छोटा सा लगा हुआ है और दूसरे v के साथ y लगा हुआ है. मैं बात कर रही हूँ ex वाले का, तो उसके अंदर जो ex कैप है उसको तो उसकी वैल्यू तो 1 ही है ना.
ये वाली ये नहीं, लेकिन फिर भी आपने ये लिखना है बिकॉज इट्स अ वेक्टर, अदरवाइज इधर जो है वो ये इक्वेशन ही गलत हो जाएगी. ठीक है ना,
सही.
और वैसे भी ये vx there the notation can be confusing. You always keep the unit vectors there, don't remove them. ठीक है ना. they are vectors. They are not just scalars. If scalar hota one hota फिर छोड़ दे. It's a vector. It's indicating that this component is along x-axis. ठीक है ना? And this component is whatever the notation.
Sir, second last step से last step पे कैसे गए वो बता सकते हैं please?
ये एक स्केलर की इंटीग्रेशन है from ux to vx. तो क्या होगी vx minus ux? डेफिनेट इंटीग्रल है.
ये उससे नीचे कैसे आया?
ये इंटीग्रल की डेफिनेशन यही नहीं है. डेफिनेट इंटीग्रल कैसे होता है? ये लिमिट है ux to vx ऑफ dx.
I get this, लेकिन मुझे लास्ट वाला आपने लिखा हुआ है लास्ट लाइन में.
और ये डिफरेंट कंपोनेंट्स हैं. vx को इकट्ठा कर दें vy को तो ये v वेक्टर बन जाएगा, और ux और uy को इकट्ठा कर दें u वेक्टर बन जाएगा. रीअरेंज कर लें टर्म्स.
Okay sir, thank you.
और सर ex और जो ey है उसको 1 एज्यूम करना है.
नहीं करना, वन कांस्टेंट अज्यूम करना है. So basically, you can write the equations of motion in vector form now. So you have v equals u plus at, and the position vector r. Now both the position and velocity are vectors. R naught plus ut plus half t squared, all vectors. And these equations are correct if in your experiment you set the time equals to 0. The starting time, the t naught, is equal to 0. If the starting time in the observation is 0, then you write this equation. And if the starting time is not t equals to 0, then you have to use this slightly modified form of the equations of motions. They basically take into account whatever lapse time that you may have in your observation. Instead of t, you write t minus t naught. And you see, if you substitute t equal to 0, then you get those equations back. All right, so these are the equations of motion. Of course, only when you have the acceleration is constant. Otherwise, you have to use the integral form. So let me just quickly motivate what we are going to look at in the next lesson. So this is all the vector calculus that we wanted to discuss for the use in this course. So now we have in the last 3-4 weeks, what we have is developed a scalar algebra and a scalar calculus. We didn't do scalar algebra because you know it all too well before. And then we had the vector algebra and vector calculus. And now we are going to apply them to different realistic situations. So initially we had the motion under free fall, right? And now we're going, so the motion under free fall, it's lumped together with the general category of motion, what is called a projectile. So anything that is falling under the free influence of gravity, anything that is not sliding on a ground, or is not constrained by a string, anything that's moving freely, and we are not actively. Filter warning. What is a filter warning? Do you know what is a filter warning? Anyone? All right. So So for example, if an object is sliding on ground, that's not motion under free fall. That's a different type of motion. So any motion that we control while only throwing the object, releasing it, and then for some time the object moves, and the only force on the object that is controlling or the constraint is the force of gravity, and there are nothing else. That's the motion under free fall. There is the simplest case of motion under free fall when we throw an object upwards and then it drops down, or we just release an object and it keeps falling down. That's the simplest motion. And that's also regarded as a projectile motion. But the more interesting case is when we throw an object, instead of straight vertically up, which is one-dimensional motion, if we throw an object at an angle with the ground, okay? Like when you kick a football from the ground, so it rises up and runs further, and then it. What is a filter warning? Does anyone know? In Zoom, is it some kind of a Zoom problem, or what is it? So that's an example of a more general projectile motion. It's still free fall, but once we throw an object at an angle with respect to ground, it now has two components of motion. It's rising up and is running further along the x-axis. And we would use vectors to describe this, and it becomes very easy to use it to study this type of motion using vectors. All right, and that's what we are going to do in the next lesson. Thank you very much. And now I'll try to answer all your questions that you had during the class.
Sir, आप